Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar on 9 marketing secrets for small businesses. We'll get started here in a few seconds. Before we start, I'd like to see if somebody can at least respond to me, make sure they can see and hear what's going on. Okay, that's good. Thanks. All right, well, I think it's about time we get started on this, but I'll wait just probably about 10 more seconds or so. And in the meantime, what I'd like to do is for you to take some time and fill out the quick survey I have up on the screen, or it should be up on the screen right now. And I'll introduce the results of that poll in a few minutes. Okay, so take the time and do this for the next few seconds, and we'll get started. Well, the reason why we have this seminar here is because 50 to 70% of all businesses fail within 18 months of opening their doors. And of course, some businesses, even after being in business for a long time, go out of business, like Circuit City and Radio Shack, for example, that we just saw. And one of the primary reasons why they go out of business is marketing is a big cause of it. They don't market right. They don't recognize the trends in the marketplace, changes in the marketplace, etc. And they lose contact with their customer base. Here's an overview of what we'll be talking about today. So it's tell you a little bit about us, and we'll go through each one of those secrets in there. I'm not going to read them all because we'll go through them. Okay, a little bit about me. I went to the Air Force Academy. I graduated with academic honors there. It's kind of like the West Point of the Air Force Academy. I also went to Georgetown University Law Center. I write a column for a top 20 newspaper in the state of Florida called Florida Today on small business marketing. I've been featured in Yahoo Small Business Advisor and a number of other places. So I do have the history of working with businesses and organizations of all size and producing results. That's me right there. Some of the experience and clients we've had over the years are, they run the gamut from, the federal government to, air shows and big events and chambers of commerce, etc. So there's a wide experience base there. Here's some more clients representative of the small business side of the equation. And these are ones we've recently added in the past 12 months. So we continually add some, and this thing will always be out of date. Let's take a look now at the poll results. I don't know if this, surprises you or not, but it's actually in line with what we found out before. So if you're outside of what most people responded to, that's fine too. Hopefully we'll address most of those. Okay, let's move right into the secrets. The first one is knowing who your ideal client is and who isn't. A lot of businesses I've come across on the small business side have no idea who their ideal client is. And that's a mistake because you're missing out on the boat of really getting into their minds and their hearts and figuring out what needs they need to have satisfied, etc. So what you look at is how close to your ideal client type is to your actual client base. I mean, are you serving a market right now that you don't want to be serving, or do you want to go into another market that you think is more in line with what you are as a company and that you can deliver value to? So it's something to take a look at. Get into your market. If you've got data on your clients, start identifying what the common characteristics are, etc., and go from there. You want to, as much as possible, go for the clients that will refer you to other profitable clients, and get away from those clients who are never satisfied. They barely make you any money, and in some cases, if you look at it, lose you money. So really delve into that. The second one is overcoming blandness, and that the question that needs to be answered is why are you better than your competition? Because if you can't tell why you're better and unique, you're just a commodity. And if you're a commodity, the thing that drives the decision is your price, right? I mean, You need I don't know, you need staples for your stapler, right? I mean, do you really go through a whole quality basis for staples? You just look for the cheapest price or whatever, and you buy staples. So you also, in addition to do that, you have to ask, why are you better than doing nothing or whatever they are doing now? Sometimes they'll just go, well, I'll just keep it as is. I'm not going to do anything about it. Or I'm not going to take action at all. So you can overcome this blandness by doing a variety of things. You offer a free report. 9 mistakes, 9 secrets, 9 things that people make mistakes on when buying a new car, etc. The other thing you can do is serve a niche. Define your market. I serve small businesses. That's who I service. Can I take care of big businesses? Certainly I can. But that's not my niche. My niche is small businesses. And as a small business owner, I certainly understand the pressures and all the headaches that go with owning a small business, as well as all the fun that goes with a small business. The other thing is you can have a referral program. I mean, you've seen that all kinds of places. Now you have to look at, is your referral program different than what everybody else is doing if they have one? And of course, if your competitors don't have a referral program, then you can just make one. And the other thing is cost. I mean, you could always say, hey, we're the cheapest, or you could say we're the most expensive. On here on the slide is cost is, I'm assuming a low cost, but you could say, hey, we're the most expensive out there, and here's why we're more expensive. If you explain why you're more expensive, that can be unique too. Oh, I should mention, if you have any questions along the way, just type them into the box, or if I can't get to them, type them on the form, and we'll do the best to answer them either during the webinar or after. We'll send a reply back to any questions you have. Okay. Third secret is offering continuing and new value. Everybody knows or should know that getting new clients is expensive. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes money to educate, to locate those particular people for your business. And wouldn't it be better to focus more of your attention on giving value with complementary services to your existing clients? And I put this thing up here because this allows me to see every Living Social, Groupon, and Valpak deal in the country, for example. So I can see how much does it cost for a business. Let's say the blue one is highlighted, 2 tickets to the Rock Hard Review. They're basically giving a deal of 50% off. So they're costing themselves $55 per lead. That's how much it's costing them. And so that to get those 438 customers, they had to spend $24,000 basically, if that's one way to look at it, or invest. Now, once you get them as customers, are you doing anything to capture their information so that you can then persuade them to continue using you with your value-driven services? So you really have to do that. Don't ignore your customer base. Secret number 4 relates to the other ones, is getting the right people to notice your business. And I like this picture of this guy here with the Budweiser, because you may be a wine merchant or a high-end wine bar or a restaurant or whatever, or you may be a place that wants to sell beer, as much beer as you can, and you don't want to sell microbreweries and that kind of stuff. So you really have to look at who is your ideal target. And where do they read about you? Where do they go? What TV do they watch? Do they look online? Are they Facebook users? Are they Apple users? Are they Android users? Do they read magazines? Do they ride the bus? Do they ride a metro, for example, if you're in a metropolitan area, a subway, etc.? You have to advertise in the right places. And too many people don't think about their target market and advertise in the wrong places, and they don't think about the unintended effects of an offer. Is somebody may say, well, sure, I don't normally drink wine, but I'm a beer drinker, but hey, you're giving it away? Sure, I'll take it. So everything you need to do needs to be done to attract that right clientele. You can't be all things to all people, especially as a small business. And if you try to do that, you're going to get hammered. And if you've been trying to do that all along, that's probably one of the reasons why you're not succeeding where others have. Number 5 is a big deal to me, as well as the other ones, but you have to have a system in place for continuing contact with the clients and future clients. You know, they need to be reminded who you are. And if you don't have that contact, they lose a perspective on you, and you go out of mind. If you don't do it, somebody else is going to be doing it, and you're going to lose business. And it happens all the time. And it's not hard these days. I mean, it used to be, you know, back in the day, you might have to develop a newsletter, print a newsletter, send it to the printer, get it mailed out, etc. Well, you can do email newsletters monthly, and you'd have someone like us do it and personalize it for you and send it out. And we do that on a regular basis. And we have a client. We just did one, his first one. You know, he got a 43% open rate on that first mailing. He's heard back from 4 of people directly saying, thanks for sending me that information and the newsletter, and I look forward to getting more. So it's really a low-cost type of thing. He's had all these clients. Why not contact them? The other thing is you have to look at 6 to 9 contacts to make a buying decision. You have to look at that. People, now moving to prospects, people don't generally respond right away. They got to get comfortable with it. They got to be exposed to it. They got to learn to like, know, and trust what you're doing. And that's not going to happen if you only have one touch point with them. And I use this thing called this last line, the CVB lunch, which stands for Convention and Visitors Bureau. I met somebody at the local CVB lunch, met him one time, put him in my pipeline for, hey, nice to meet you, and following up with them, and they became a client. It wouldn't have happened if I didn't follow up. I had another business, one of my clients who I met one time in April of last year, and he never responded to anything at all, but he did open my weekly small business newsletter, and in November he called me. I was ready to do business and became a client. So that's what you can do with regular contact. Number 6, wow them. You know, once you get a new client, you have to realize it's the start of a relationship. It's not the end of a relationship. So you have to have a way of delivering value to them that is beyond beyond what is expected in your type of business. You know, because if you wow them, chances are they're going to give you referrals. They're going to come back, even if you cost more, and that's the important point. How do you wow them? It all depends. You have to be a little bit different than the rest of your competitors. I use the case of once I had what I thought I had a car issue for my daughter, got the car towed, and the auto repair place basically said there's nothing wrong with the car, it just it had overheated. It was too hot out. The car hadn't overheated, but it was too hot. Just let it cool down. I said, I'm not going to charge you anything. Now that to me was a wow experience. I mean, I've never taken my car in and not paid anything. That's a wow experience. So you have to look at the wowness of things. Number 7 is something that a lot of business owners don't like unless you're an accountant, a numbers person, is counting the beans. You have to know the cost and value of everything you do with marketing. You have to. If you don't, you're going to get eaten alive by advertisers and everybody else out there who says, hey, this only costs you $50, this only costs you $99, etc. And if you don't do that marketing and numbers work, you're going to be wasting money. Look at how much a customer is worth, and that'll help you evaluate how much do you want to spend to get the customer. So I use this pizza example. And let's say, you know, the family gets pizza once a week, you know, drinks and that kind of some wings and such. $25 a week. I'm just assuming 50% profit, $600 per year. So one new customer is worth $600 to them in profit. So at that point, economically, wouldn't it be okay to spend $200 to get that client? It would be. From a real standpoint, a break even, you'd spend $600 to get one client. Because once you get that client and you deliver value to them year after year after year, that's a tremendous amount of revenue to you and profit to you. So that's why you don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish. The other thing is you got to look at the cost per thousand in terms of advertising. So typically, what people will do is they'll look at something like a $50 investment for like 2,500 views, and what you really have to do is do the math on that and compare it with something else. For example, there's one that's $700 investment for 75,000 views. So you can see, if you do the math, the $700 for 75,000 views is a much better deal. Yeah, you have to spend more up front, but your cost per thousand is so much lower that the economics dictate do the $700 for 75,000 views. Number 8, you got to track your efforts to make sure you're reaching your goals. I mean, if you don't track it, you're not going to know if things are working. So you have to measure things. Automatic measurement is best, right? I mean, that's the key. For example, like when you responded to this, if you responded via email or a postcard or a direct mail piece or a referral or any other way we got you to come on this webinar, we know how many of each type of avenue gave us which type of return. So we're able to adjust our marketing based on that. We'll even adjust the length of our seminar sometimes based on the drop-off rates. So we track everything, and it's not that hard to do. In some methods you can use to do this, or you can use tracking phone numbers. So every time somebody calls, you know automatically where that call came from. There's different landing pages. You can link all the sources with client revenue to help you better target your offer and such. And to do this, you really need to spend 2 to 4 hours a week on marketing. And 10% is really a good starting point if you really want your business to grow. And a lot of times, one of the main reasons why businesses don't succeed is they don't even fund their marketing campaigns at all. And when when you're talking about your marketing campaign and your budget, you have to factor in time. There's a lot of small business owners who say, I don't market. All I do is I rely on word of mouth advertising, or I'll do my own in-person networking. I'm a member of a couple of networking groups. I know that they work. They work for a lot of small businesses. They work for my business. But I also know that there's a cost of my time to go to a networking group. And so that is considered part of your market. If you're doing marketing activities, and if you had to pay somebody to go do it, then you need to go, well, that's part of my marketing budget. So factor that in when you're doing everything. Then the final secret is develop a structured marketing plan yearly. Okay? I guess that's no surprise to you. You've got advertising versus marketing is something you look at. People sometimes interchange them, and they're not the same things. For example, marketing is a structured plan on how to reach goals, on how to reach your goals. Okay? This is how I'm going to get from A to B. I'm going to go from Orlando to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to drive there, right? So that's my plan. I've developed a plan. I'm going to take this road and that road and stop here and stop there, get gas here, etc. I've got kind of a plan of where I want to go. Advertising is one method to reach potential clients. So advertising would be one road that I could take that would get me up there, or a particular road. Do I want to go interstates versus local roads, etc.? So you have to remember that marketing usually consists of a bunch of different advertising channels, as well as, in a lot of cases, some public relations efforts, which we've done and do. That's what you have to remember. So when somebody says they're a marketer or a marketing consultant, you got to really ask them, well, what do you mean by that? Because if they're only selling one particular advertising advertising means, then obviously they're really advertisers. Why this is important? Because if you have a desired outcome and have a method to get there, you're more likely to stay focused and not react to every salesperson or company that pitches an idea, or a nonprofit that comes in and asks for a donation or a sponsorship or everything else that happens. I mean, there are some small business owners that are constantly bombarded almost daily by either an advertiser or somebody else soliciting money. And that's not what you want to be doing, is basing your marketing on, like I call it, like whack-a-mole. It's just like they're coming in and you feel like whacking each advertiser as they come in, and sometimes they don't get whacked, so to speak, and you end up going, all right, that makes sense. I've got money in the till today, so let me do this particular marketing approach. Well, that's about it. You can build your business methodically if you use these secrets, and don't be afraid to seek help. You might not need hand holding every day or every month, but some of you might, and some of you may elect to do that. So do that. But before you go, I do want to say we do have some other secrets for you. So for those of you who have time to stick around, I'm going to wow you, hopefully. So just hold on a second. This is a little bit about us screen for those of you who have to go. But if you have to go, you're going to miss out on a special offer. So hopefully you can stay on for a little bit longer. Bonus secret number 1, become a perceived expert in the media community. Do you know about your industry enough to talk about it? Probably. Are you more knowledgeable than any other of your competitors? Do your competitors know more than you? Probably not. So why not be the expert? You just have to be the one willing to talk to the media. And that way you're their go-to person when they need a quote on what you do. I, for example, a public relations media guy, I don't mind talking to the media. Here's a bunch of different places where I've spoken to the media, on camera, off camera, in print, on radio, you name it. I even have a column in a newspaper that I write. I know there's other marketing companies and marketers out there who are just as knowledgeable about me, but I'm the one writing. So don't be afraid to be an expert. Number 2, get involved in charity and volunteer organizations. It's a way of showing your local community that you care about the community. It's not just about the dollar. You want to make the world in which you live a better place. And it's a great networking opportunity for you to get in touch with people from areas that you may never come in contact with normally. And for me, it's always been very rewarding from a personal standpoint. I was on the board of directors for Community Band of Brevard. I helped a local campaign for Brevard Save Our Students. That was one of the more successful campaigns to fund education in the history of the county here. The vice president of the Air Force Association. So I do get involved, and I think you need to incorporate that into your approach. The other secret is you got to develop and test offers constantly. It's a big mistake if you think matter, words don't. And if you look at that, I switched the words a little. Words do matter, and what words you use can impact everything. And like I said before, we tested a variety of different messages and methodologies here to get you onto this seminar. And we get better and better at figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And you can do the same kind of approach with your business. You just track messages. Just test 2 different messages out. Maybe one could be, save 50% on life insurance. And then the other one could be avoid overpaying for life insurance by 98%. Test them, see which one works, and then adjust. And make the most successful one your new control group and test it out against the new message. If you do that, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Number 4, you got to know the competition better than they know themselves. Study them. I'm amazed at how many small business owners out there have no idea what their competition is doing. They don't look at their websites. They don't look at their offers. They don't go into their stores. They do nothing. And so they're operating blindly. Well, guess what? Your customers and your clients are doing that. They're checking them out. With the internet and everything else, it's pretty easy to do. And our approach is we're hyper vigilant on checking out competition for our clients. For example, this is one of the competitors for one of my clients, and I'll just use Royal Cocoa Shuttle for example. Right? So that's an ad they put on there. Well, with the software we have available, we can tell how much Royal Cocoa Shuttle is spending on Google advertising per month. We can see their whole trend. We can see the words that they're paying for, how much they're average paying for it. We can see their ads they're running. We can see the location on the page that they're running. We can do all of that. So we have an insight into them that they may not realize. These are some of the services we have available. A key point here is we only take one premium client per chamber of commerce. So if we're a client, if you're a client in, let's say, Davenport, Iowa, for example, and you are a landscaper or something like that, then once we've got a landscaper client in Davenport, Iowa, you know, that's in that chamber, then that's it. We do a goal marketing system, a marketing plan, which is really our basis of everything we do. And for those of you who are interested, there'll be some information on that after the webinar. Okay, but you can read all that. Pretty much, if it helps you bring in business, we're involved. You've already read about the summary, but now let's talk a little bit about the special offer we have. Okay, I'm going to give you a 1-hour free consultation for the 3 people who respond first to this, and normally that is $125 an hour. That's what our clients pay us to do marketing work for them. So I'm going to give away 3 of those for the people who respond to the offer button below. So if you're interested, click now. You'll be taken to a short video where you'll learn exactly how we work, and we'll tell you the price and everything else like that. And you'll make a decision whether you want to schedule either a 15-minute free consultation with us, or be one of the lucky 3 that get that full 1-hour value-driven consultation. I'll answer any question you may have. I'll help you as best I can in that hour. And we found it's a fairly effective approach. People can make a decision if we're going to help them in a bigger way. So let me see. I think I may have some time for some questions. Let me see. All right, let's see if I can answer some now. And like I said, if I don't get to it, just fill out that form, and you'll get an answer as soon as we can. Yes. All right. So one of the questions is it better to do postcards or direct mail, like a mail piece, for example, like a letter, or every door direct, something like that, to reach customers, or is it better to do online, like Google Ads? You see that? Hopefully you'll see that in the chat box. And the answer is it depends. I mean, a lot of times what you do is you use a variety of methods. You can bring them all together. You can link them together. You don't know necessarily what thing is going to cause somebody to ultimately jump at your offer. So I would think it depends on your location and your type of business, and you go from there. So it depends. Some of our clients do very well with postcards, direct mail. Some have done okay with Every Door Direct. Some have done, they get quality business from their Google Ads, but they don't get the volume that they want because people don't typically search for that type of service as much as possible on the web in that particular location. And some do better with just going to networking meetings. It all depends. And so what we do is we'll put together a marketing plan that takes all the available marketing avenues available to a business, and there are dozens of them, if not hundreds of different ways for you to reach your clients. And then we will develop that way to bring you in the most valuable clients at the lowest cost possible. Okay, I think I'm running out of time. But like I said, if you have a question and just want to ask it privately or whatever, just fill that form in, and we'll go from there. Okay, thank you.